Okay, I'm going to try to keep the rage and excitement to a minimum, but I don't get to make these videos very often, so honestly, I'm a little bit excited to make it. And that's why I'm knocking my lens cap all over the place. Basically, what happened is that I don't get harassed by the cops too much anymore, because they've all pretty much realized that I'm not trying to hurt anybody. I'm just trying to get my exercise, create a little bit of art, make some videos, make some money on the side. No big deal, right? Just leave the kid alone. He's probably not going to hurt anybody. And actually, he might reduce crime just by being present in some bad neighborhoods. But that's not always the case. You see, this time of year, the police academy gets out, which we have one very close to my home. So the police department gets lots of new officers, and every single year, there's some douchebag, always with the big, thick marine neck, that just absolutely has to uphold every law to the color of the law, exactly as it's written, and half the time they didn't study the fucking manual, so they don't know what they're talking about to begin with. So, I'm going to break this down to you guys as clearly and concisely as I possibly can, but my brain is going in a million directions right now because I just opened the skate shop last Tuesday, and my mind is blown. This was my first chance to actually get out and street skate in like a week, and I was only out there for 20 minutes before we got kicked out of the spot, which I got my trick anyway, so it didn't really matter. Well, I didn't get the trick I wanted, but I got like the warm-up trick. It was good enough, whatever. I'll be back, don't worry about it. So anyways, we roll up to this spot, 6th stair, lands on the sidewalk, and then immediately into the street, okay? Probably not the greatest place to be skating, very visible, you know, I understand that. But we had a specific trick we were there to get. It wasn't even my trick. We filmed the other guy for like 10 minutes and he didn't get it, but again, we'll be back. So I show up and these kids are standing sitting on the steps, because there's a Pokemon gym there. So, being the kind of nerdy guy I am, I open up my Pokemon Go app, take the gym, throw up a level 1600 Flareon, and the kids bounce. So, now it's finally time to start filming. We can actually film this thing. He tries probably 20 times, doesn't get his trick. I try my trick, get the warm-up trick. I think I might have got it twice, and then I was going to go for another, like the actual trick. You know, I was ready for it. Cop rolls up. He does not introduce himself, which is the #1 thing that police officers need to remember to do. If you want to be humanized, then introduce yourself as a fucking human, okay? When you show up, you go, "Hello, I'm Officer Smith. I'm here today because you're fucking up." And then you tell him what you're doing, okay? He could have said any number of things, you know? You guys aren't allowed to skate here. We've had some complaints of trespassing, vandalism, whatever. There's a million different things. Basically, the dude was just rolling by. He didn't want to see people skateboarding, so he stopped us. But he blasts us with the most ignorant shit, because he can't get us for trespassing, because as I just said, there was people there playing Pokemon Go, right? They were trespassing too, right? If I'm trespassing on a skateboard, then them being there, sitting there on the steps, all 6 or whatever of them there was, are trespassing as well. So there goes that $25 ticket that you could have possibly written me. #2 is that maybe he could get us for vandalism, right? Here's the thing. I weigh like 160 pounds. I'm landing on concrete. Probably not doing a whole lot of damage. But I guess if you can prove that I have done damage, then we can take it to court. It'll be like, what, $25, $75 ticket, and I'm going to continue to get it continued, and I'm going to put it off, and we're just going to keep playing this game, where basically I take up more money than you can potentially make from me in the court system, and then it gets thrown out. So everybody knows how that works, or should by now. If you get a $25 ticket, just stretch it out as long as you can, and they'll throw it out, because they're not going to spend $1,000 chasing $25. It's all about the money. It's not about justice. It's not about actually doing anything, because you see, the city owns that building. The city owns it. So it's not like I'm hurting some individual somewhere. It's literally the city. And they've got plenty of money. Or at least they better, because they're building $1 million skate park and an amphitheater and a bus station and a train station and God knows what else. But my tiny little crack in the sidewalk is going to break the fucking bank for the city. But it wasn't that the cop said that annoyed me. What he said, after he had already kicked us out, you know, we were already packing up, I'm putting my camera in my bag, I literally hear him say, "If you want to skateboard, do it at home." You ignorant, stupid son of a bitch. If I had a pristine 6th stair at my house, why the fuck would I drive 20 miles to go jump into traffic? how fucking dense is your skull that something like that could come out of your mouth? How out of touch are you? And that's the problem with police officers, is that they really are out of touch. They've got their own little world that they live in, and they don't understand how things work outside of it because they're not willing to try to learn. They're not willing to take a walk in somebody else's shoes. And there are some that are willing to do that. But as I've said before, these are new recruits, fresh from the police academy. They don't have a clue yet. They aren't even really adults, okay? This guy was probably younger than me, if we're being honest. I didn't even look at him. I just saw his neck was as big as my head, and I was like, we're probably just gonna get out of here without talking too much shit. On top of that, I was skating with a preacher and a dude on probation, so really talking shit wasn't gonna do anybody any good at all. You know, me being a business owner, him being a preacher, and then the other dude on probation, it wasn't going to turn out too well. So it wasn't worth arguing. Oh, just mind-blowing. So, skate at home. Alright, well, that's kind of a thing I guess I could do. You see that I'm at this, like, park here, right? There's a sign right there that says no skateboarding. And the reason it says no skateboarding is because there was a time when I was actually short enough that I could ollie off these picnic tables without smacking my head off the rafters. Those days are long gone. What the sign doesn't say, it does say no drinking, but there's a beer bottle cap there. And look, here's a drug bag and gutted blunts everywhere. Oh look, part of a blunt. Oh look, a blunt wrapper. Oh look, gutted blunts everywhere. Oh look, more blunt. Oh, somebody did a burnout. Oh look, more gutted blunts. What's what do we got here? Oh, more drug bags. What's that? Oh look, more gutted blunts. You see, the thing is, there's some rules that need to be followed. Ones that prevent fat Americans from getting exercise. Probably not those rules. Skateboarding, probably not as big of a deal as drugs. Although weed isn't that big of a deal either. But hey, it's going on right here. In the very neighborhood that you just told me to skate in. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't understand. I do, but how can you be so ignorant, man? How can you be so out of touch? I hope you see this. I really do, because you need to fully understand that the reason that people have problems with cops is because they've been dehumanized. And they've been dehumanized because you guys roll around in unmarked cars with tinted windows, with the windows up. You don't stop and talk to anybody. You don't introduce yourself when you do stop people. And then you immediately come at us with attitudes as if we've done something wrong before you've actually even accused us of a crime in most cases. And on top of that, it's not your job to be the fucking judge, jury, and executioner. Your job is to get a call or see a crime, and then you show up and you file a report and you tell that person, okay, here's your court date. Your job is not to be a smartass. Your job is not to... I don't get it. I really don't. I don't understand police culture whatsoever. I don't understand how people can get a badge and then treat other people as if they're not people. And I'm not saying that all cops are bad, because they're not. This is a new cop that doesn't understand what's going on. Most of the cops in my police department are really, really great dudes. Some of them are just fucking idiots, man.